Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Stupid Player NegativeAE, and welcome back to another episode of When They Cry. So on the last episode of this, I had asked if the tips were useful and if I should read them or not, and I think Lexiville was like, "Oh, they're not that long. You can go ahead and include them in the episode." So we're gonna take this episode to read the ones. Probably not this entire episode. I don't think that long. But we're gonna really read some of the tips, and then we'll continue on with the story after we've read some of the tips. So from what I understand, they're like story beats. I don't know. We'll see what they are as we go, I guess. So Reina, we're the same age? Yes, that's right. We're the same zodiac animal too. Hey now, it would be weird if we were the same age, but not the same zodiac animal. Not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, I see. Mion, you're pretty smart. Laughing. What month were you born? By the way, Keiichi-kun. I'm July. Reina smirked and puffed up with pride. You know, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Hey, don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you bet $1 per month. Huh? Huh? Why? Why? She always repeats things. This girl. Reina panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I am certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun, I can't help myself. So that means you were born in April, Kei-chan? Right on. Too bad, Reina. I'm already far older than Reina. Oh, I see. Then you're the same age as me-chan. Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about. As if I'm one to talk. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're into underclassmen, then I can be an underclassman from now on. Michan, you're not making any sense to me. Just by seeing Reina's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Then Satoko and Rika-chan are underclassmen. Their grade is so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they? It's weird because they're like, he's like replying in his head. Keiichi-kun. Oh no, he's not replying. This is part of one thing. There's just dots here for some reason. Keiichi-kun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think. Bro, repeats everything. You're not making any sense yourself, Reina. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit. How? Stop it. I wondered about it before, yeah. I was wondering why the school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms, can't help it. This building is being rented from the forestry services after all. When she says it like that, it makes sense. I thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel. There are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated. They closed it down. It probably was a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend the school in the city. That's pretty far, you know? Which school would that be? Did you know there's a school if you pass by the Okinomiya train station, turn at the hospital, and head towards the pediatrics department? What? So far. I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Reina's reaction. Well, that's why. The guys didn't want to commute to Okinomiya rented out the building from the forestry services and are attending this pseudo schoolhouse here. About half the children in Hinamizawa go there, or go here. There are quite a lot of kids that come here on bike. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get a higher education. That's not true, Michan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want. Yeah, that's right, that's right. I totally agree with Reina on this one. Yes, that's right. That's right. Let's try our best. All of you try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. She called herself old man like twice now. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? The future is bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, then I'll just mooch off Kei-chan as he works forever. What do you mean by work forever? What do you mean? Hey, you're too loud. Be quiet during self-study. The teacher yelled at all three of us. I want to see this teacher. It's completely our fault. Toko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It is just as Mion says. This school has nothing to do with higher education. But it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Like? We don't have a uniform? I don't have a uniform. My school. Or my old school. It's only June, but it's already so hot. I could hear the Higurashi outside chirping. Me. That's pretty close, actually. And at night there were the mosquitoes. Might as well be summer already. I hate mosquitoes. My only salvation was that the morning were still cool. Summer, I do declare. The Toko was flapping her skirt. No idea what that word is pronounced like. Languidly? It's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she was still a girl. Keiichi does seem cool, or quite cool, with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous. From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. A girl like you just wouldn't understand. Wearing jeans this season and how steamy the crotch gets. It gets steamy? This girl has gone imagining something indecent. Reina's summer clothes have a nice refreshing color. I feel cooler just looking at them. Laughing. Thank you. They really do feel pretty cool. I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Reina's. But, Satoko-chan, your summer clothes are so cute, being a one piece and all. I'd like to wear your summer clothes. This is actually quite stuffy, you know? I do believe what you're wearing would feel much cooler. What the hell are we talking about right now? But it would be so much more fun with cute clothes. I had a feeling that Reina and Satoko's base values were fundamentally different. I feel like her clothes would be a lot cooler. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform. Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine. There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There were a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same. That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go out of your way to get them from somewhere? Well, yeah, Mion-san supplied them. Bichan's relatives run a second-hand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say. So you asked those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms then? That Mion, she probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? Pretty strange for a secondhand clothing store. What's the point in stocking up clothes from faraway schools they know nothing about? Yeah, I think so too. They also have used school swimsuits and PE uniforms. I don't like the idea of having used ones. Doesn't sound like the shop makes much money. They probably have Mion pitch in and help so they can make a bit more. But Mion says it'll be a big hit and become a great store with such conviction. A secondhand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit? I don't get it. Interesting. Or uniforms are made by Mion. Alright, the Maybara Manor. My house. Okay, Chen, you're not stinking rich? What's this all of a... Or what is this all of a sudden? Did I come to school in a limo before? How much do you get from a monthly allowance? About $10? Oh my, that's a rather plebeian amount. His lunch is made up of normal stuff. He isn't rich. What are they talking about? To be asked out of nowhere how much I get and then told that that's a plebeian amount. Sorry. Raina seemed to pick up on my dubious expression and started giggling. Kei-chan, your house, it's pretty big, yeah? So the architecture has people all around Hinamizawa calling it the Maybara Manor, and it sort of stands out. Maybara Manor? Since the house is so big, everybody is gossiping, wondering exactly how rich you are. Let's see. Now I get it. Well, the frame of it is huge. I see how it could cause some misunderstandings. From my deduction, I wager they spent too much money on building the house, and that is why they are now broke. It's a good theory. Being broke, how very, very unfortunate. Rika-chan took pity on me as she patted my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar. Yeah, sorry for ruining your imagination, but we aren't millionaires or poor. We're the image of a normal average household. You can't call it normal with that huge house. The entranceway is all grand and the gate is large enough for a truck to get through. That's not normal at all. They do say the bigger a house, the more prosperous you are. The reason the house is big is because Dad's studio is in it too. There's a bunch of different workshops and a lot of his works are hung up in different places. All of them are huge too. For those reasons, my family actually uses only a third of the house for day-to-day living. We planned it out so that people and cars could come in and see the gallery he opens up in the house someday. By the way, the entranceway Mion is talking about is the one for the studio and is normally sealed off. The entranceway for the Maybara family uses is very plain and simple. The interior is much different from how it looks on the outside. I'd really like to explore Kei-chan's house. Claiming not to be rich but having a home like that. What could be hidden there? Maybe there's something cute hidden. They probably had no money to purchase furniture, so it's filled with Spartan rooms. What is Spartan rooms? If there are carpeted rooms, I would love to try rolling around on the floor. That would be great, so great. I want to roll around too. Seems like their imaginations were just piling on. Well, sometime in the near future, it wouldn't be too bad to invite them all to my house. Dad is a sucker for the ladies, so he might even let them take a look around his studio. The cry of the Higurashi crescendoed as the sky towered over everything. It was hot, but the air was clear. It smelled like the beginning of summer. Alright, last one. The dam site. From the June XX 1979 edition, the Shishibone City Okonomiya Police Station, June XX late at night. Suspects blank were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender blank has been added to the wanted list nationwide. The According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction site workroom on XX 9 p.m. They are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer Blank as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. At the blank o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by the Shishibone City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. Blank. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested at the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies. The investigation is ongoing. Interesting. All right, let's continue the story. That was interesting. The last one especially. A Colonel Sanders? Of course, that's right up her alley. I understand her wanting to take home Satoko and Rika-chan, but I can't understand the Colonel Sanders. What's so good about that four-eyed geezer? Probably better to hear it from Reina, don't you think? She'll probably just say, because it's so cute, though. Does Reina often go to the construction site to hunt for treasure? Every now and then she says she's going to have a look. But a girl her age rummaging around in garbage as well. If Reina enjoys it, then I think it's fine. What were they doing over there? Dam construction. Or dam construction? It had been bugging me since yesterday, like an itch I couldn't scratch. It was cancelled a long time ago. Everyone gathered together and fought against it. Hearing an ominous word like fought come from Rika-chan's mouth startled. What? Is that really an ominous word? That's right. It was unbelievable. They said Hinamizawa would be sunk into the reservoir and we had no say in the matter. So I'm only able to be here because the protest succeeded. I'm sorry. I didn't keep you, did I? Did I? My deepest apologies, Keiichi-san. It took me a while to powder my nose. Satoko. Wait to use the can until you really have to go. It's a lot easier since it shoots right out. What? How dare you speak that way to a maiden of unparalleled beauty as such as myself? Who is she calling a maiden? If Satoko really was a maiden, she wouldn't have reacted like that. The usual hijinks ensued. Interesting. Now then, gentlemen, in accordance with the rules of our society, I bring a point to discussion. He, Keiichi Maebara-kun, wishes to be included as a member in our activities. What say you? Reina has no objection. Oh ho ho ho. I wonder if the likes of this peasant is up to the task. Me and Satoko both approve. The three that Mion had queried voiced their approval. A unanimous decision. Congratulations, Keiichi Maebara-kun. I present you the honor of being allowed to take the entrance exam for our club. Start from the beginning. I didn't say I would join. What club is this? What our club does, you see, in order to cope with our complicated society, we perform various activities under different sets of rules. Sometimes they are in your favor. and sometimes they work against you. I'm pretty weak, so I'd prefer if you didn't single me out. Let's try to get along. You're so naive, Reina. The law of the jungle is survival of the fittest. This was starting to sound a bit sketchy. So what kind of club was it? To sum it up, it's a club where we play games together. Rika-chan was the only one to answer my question with a pertinent response. But basically this club put Mion's hobby of collecting games to use by playing the various games that Mion had hoarded every day. It seemed that, depending on the day, there were prizes for the winner, or a penalty for the person who finished in last place. I'll make this clear right now. We aren't playing house here. You should treat each win or loss as if your life depends on it, alright? What's wrong with just having fun? Don't make it sound so crazy. First rule of our society. Aim only for first place. Going at it half-assed just because it's a game is not allowed. Rule number 2 of our society. For that reason, you are obligated to make all possible efforts. The way Satoko said it, it sounded like she was saying use any means necessary. Of course, I will do my best too. I'm pretty weak, but I'm trying my best. I knew what they were trying to say. In a game where everybody is aiming for the top, it's rather unsportsmanlike to just play for fun. Alright then, I too will go all out. Always press right click. With that, I was finally ready for the rite of initiation, my baptism into the club. Word of warning, Kei-chan. Reina can get pretty nasty. This initiation looks like it's going to be rough. Mion began fishing around the student lockers in the back of the room. They have games here at the school? Well, it's club equipment, so I guess that's fine. Complicated games will put Kei-chan at a disadvantage. So today, we'll play a game that you should be familiar with. Why is it like shaking? How about a standard card game, like old Bachelor? What the fuck is that? Alright, let's do this. I actually don't know how to play that. Can't really get into it unless there's a penalty. This time, the loser will be sentenced to having their face drawn on. What do you think? Whoa, whoa. It won't be oil-based paint, right? Right? Oil-based base painting with oil-based paint? That is perfect. Satoko cheered the idea on. She didn't even flinch at the thought of such a severe penalty. Seemed like she was raring to go. But if it's going to be like this, then I can't lose either. Then I'll just cut the deck and start dealing. Old Bachelor is pretty much the same as Old Maid, okay? There's only one difference, there's no Joker, okay? In its place, one card is pulled out at the start, meaning there will be one card without a match left over at the end. You don't know which card will end up being the Joker. It's a pretty thrilling game. I'll take out the card now. Reina took out one card and left it face down on the table. Everybody stared at the card intently. Well, it'll be pretty obvious in the end game. A way to tell at the start. But the rest of them were very serious. They didn't seem as relaxed as I was. They compared their cards to the one face down, all the while gauging each other's reactions. It was as if they could see what the face down card was. No, it could be. This deck is pretty worn out. No way. Can everyone tell by the scratches what the card on the table is? Remember the second rule of our society. Keiichi-san must try his hardest to win as well. A number of cards are quite unique, Keiichi-kun. Keiichi-kun should be able to remember them pretty quickly. He said that so matter-of-factly. Suits me fine. Don't think a little thing like that can be your crutch. I lashed out angrily, but it was rather obvious I was at a disadvantage. After all, they'd gone so far to memorize the wear and tear for each individual card. This wasn't a simple game of Old Bachelor. If this was a test, then they were playing with the answer sheet right in front of them. Bring it. I'll take advantage of your carelessness and beat you at your own game. That baseless confidence would soon be crushed. Yeah, if they know what card is what. How about I tell you your hand starting from the right. 3, 4, 9, Jack, Queen. Wow. By the way, the Bachelor is the Jack of Diamonds. I can tell what they are even if you switch them around. I am out. I thought I was prepared, but for it to be this brutal, overwhelming. Sorry about my phone, guys. As far down as I can. Hopefully it doesn't ring again. Demons. You're all demons. Reina isn't a demon. Are you? Sorry, Keiichi-kun. This is the 3 of Hearts, isn't it? I'm out. Wow. Not even a hint of mercy. Reina, even Rika-chan. These club activities weren't to be trifled with. An alumnus of this club would definitely survive in the cruelest of situations. If our entire class had self-detonating collars strapped to their necks and were dropped into a deathmatch on a deserted island, these guys would probably take it to like fish to water. I can already picture their joy as they hunt down each of their classmates. It's a lowest point system. The order itself dictates the points. Whoever has the lowest point total wins. Since Keiichi finished last, he has 5 points. There's already a 5 marked down on my scoreboard. I think it's unfair to Keiichi-kun if we don't use a new deck. It's fine, it's fine. Kei-chan is a man after all. You can turn the tables even if the odds are stacked against him, right? Sexist. Get out of here. If it's fitting for a lowly peasant to scamper home and soak their pillow in tears, don't you think? A petite hand laid itself on top of my head, which was trembling from an uncontainable frustration. It was Rika-chan's. Keep on fighting, yeah. Thanks to Rika-chan's words of encouragement, I was able to calm down. You need to be calm, especially when you're cornered. That's the power I could muster during this crisis. Think clearly, Keiichi Maebara. Take your time and look at the cards carefully. It's just as Reina said, each card has its own distinct markings that made them stand out. Memorizing them should be pretty simple. Think about what you could do in this situation. Try everything in your power to improve your chances of victory. Whoa, great, Keiichi-kun, just like that. I covered the uniquely marked cards with my hands, or other cards, arranging them in such a way that they couldn't be seen. The one with the ripped corner should be the 5. And I'm out. Couldn't let any of those precious hints slip by me. All information is a weapon. Then it was my turn. Otoko fanned out her cards for me. You see, I want the 7. Is it this one? I wonder about that. You won't know unless you take it. There was a bit of dismay in her expression. Like she doesn't want it taken. That kind of expression. I won't let that momentary lapse slip by me. I know. It's this one. Got it. 7 of spades. A cheer of ooh ran out. Or rang out. What is this? The 7 should be the hardest one of them all to tell apart. It wasn't from memorizing the markings. Those slight changes in their expressions as I was selecting a card were enough. Can't hide it from me, Kei-chan. This mark means it's the 2 of diamonds. What? She was startled by her own misread. Of course everyone else was too. Whoa, it's rare that Mi-chan gets a card wrong. No. Kei-chan, Could it be you? They told them apart by different marks. That mark was a nail scratch, so I put a new one on it. Are you saying he disguised it as the Two of Diamonds? What an impressive show of wit. Keiichi landed a clean hit. Clap, clap, clap. That's great, Keiichi-kun. That was an incredible match, you know? Having defeated the Forerunner Mion, my brilliant battle left me ecstatic. But by total points, it was already set in stone that Mion would win and I would finish last. I laughed haughtily, selecting the tone of my voice carefully to get on Mion's nerves. Well, I'm going to end up the loser, but I'm satisfied with one-upping Mion at the end. Wahahaha. That should be the proverbial slap in the face to Mion, who was at the top already and ensured victory. Even if Keichan gets first place this round, he'll still end up last place overall. Don't you hate that? Of course I do. Let's have a duel. One chance. If you win, then we'll swap first and last place. How about it? You up for it? She fell for it. A chance for an upset that wouldn't be possible without goading her into it. One chance, you say? Let me hear the rules. Mion discarded 2 cards from her hand and replaced one with the Joker card that was on the table, then shuffled the resulting hand behind her back. The card in my right or the card in my left. Keichan can guess which hand's the Joker's in, then he wins. When you turned around just now, you didn't pull the Joker out, did you? If you lose, I'll show the card in the other hand. That okay? The other 3 gulped nervously at this unexpected turn of events. Alright, you've got it. Mion grasped 1 card in each hand and thrust them out at me. First, I needed to inspect them closely. The card on the right had no distinguishing marks. Couldn't tell which one it was. It's the one on the right. Which one, I wonder, Keiichi-kun? Be careful. Yeah, of course. This is my chance for a big comeback. Looking closely at the card on the left, I saw a little wear. It was one I hadn't seen before. Ah, that card is... I didn't let that bit from Satoko slip by me. Mion clucked her tongue. I didn't recognize the mark on the left card from the small number that I had memorized. I didn't know what the left card was, but I could tell from Satoko's reaction that the card had already appeared during the game. Since it had already appeared before, that meant that it definitely was the Joker. And they don't play with the Joker because they play Bachelor piece of shit where they take out the Joker all the time. So it's obviously the one on the right. Keiichi-chan thinks it's the one on the right? Will you choose that one then? Will you? The left card definitely wasn't the Joker. If I could trust that theory, then I should have been able to just declare that the card to the right was the Joker, even without Mion's taunting. The one on the right was the most suspicious. But wasn't it a bit too rash to decide solely on Satoko's reaction? More carefully. Ah, I remember now. That mark. The left card, no doubt about it. The 7 of clubs. It's the 7 of clubs, I see. I've won. The card on the left was the 7 of clubs. That meant that the Joker on the right, or the card on the right was the Joker. I think so too. And then just before my hand touched the right card, I froze. I would expect no less from you. There was a wave of murmurs amongst the onlookers at my sudden halt, right before I confirmed that the right card was the Joker. What? Please pull like a Shino, like while you were doing this, I switched the cards and now it's this, or I've made a mark on one of the cards. Huh? What Keiichi-chan possibly be saying? I mean, the one on the left is... Oh. What makes you so certain that the right one isn't the Joker, Kei-chan? Mion let loose an unexpected question. Everyone else was baffled. I don't know what the card on the right could be, but I know that the one on the left is the 7 of clubs. Then, doesn't that leave the right one as the Joker? One of them has to be the Joker, right? Yeah. One of those is the Joker, right? Keiichi has good intuition. Huh? Rika-chan, what do you mean by... Basically, the 7 of clubs. I discarded that by mashing with Sakoto's 7 of spades earlier. Everyone's attention snapped to the discard pile at the same time. The truth of the matter couldn't be discerned from that sloppy pile. So that means Mion pocketed one of the discarded cards and aligned it over the left card, and that means... Oh, damn! This girl's using sleight of hand. This girl's using sleight of hand to do things. The left card is being disguised as the 7 of clubs, right? It was the first time since the start of the match that a shadow ran across Mion's expression. I didn't let that slip by. Then with a grand flourish, I declared it loudly. The Joker is the left one. It was an intense moment. But wait a second. If the right one's not played at all and there's no scratch marks, then what the crap is it? In the silence, the first one was Mion. Being the first president of this club, I've been witness to a variety of performances. Kei-chan, yours is the best. The best of the best of the best. That was probably the greatest compliment Mion could give. Mion accepted her defeat, dropping the cards from both hands. My comeback victory. Rika-chan placed her hand on my head and began petting it, congratulating me on my victory. Huh? Rika-chan is... Reina and Satoko gaped at us as if they had seen a ghost. What is it, Reina? It's not as if I cheated or anything, right? This was fair and square. Rika only pets someone on the head to console them. Huh? What's the meaning of... was it the right one? At that moment, Reina let out a small shriek. Keiichi-kun! This is how it was? You know, Keiichi-chan, I thought you'd read into it that far. Everyone froze. No, it was just me. It was a gamble. If you had just jumped to conclusions like a little brat, I would have lost. So it was the right one. My guy was like, oh, she's pulling sleight of hand and she's taking the cards and shit. It was the answer that everyone was certain about. Mion picked up the card from the losing hand. Kei-chan, you should take pride in this loss. He turned it around. A duel. That was the card of that the proclaimed victor of this duel. The card under the 7 of clubs was the 2 of diamonds. It was a setup behind the setup. If I just picked the right one without reading so deeply into it. Oh, so she was pulling sleight of hand. She was just pulling sleight of hand with a different card. What? I'm Mion Sonozaki as the club president. Do accept. Keiichi Maebara's membership into our club. I slumped to my knees, dazed. Everybody let out a round of applause for the excellent effort I gave despite my defeat. The match is now over. Today's victor is me, Mion Sonozaki, and our exalted loser is Keiichi Maebara. Everyone made a commotion, applauding cheerfully. I felt I was bested, but I was so soundly beaten that it unexpectedly felt rather refreshing. When Mi-chan pulled that little trick behind her back, I got excited, thinking she's going to do it again. When Keiichi-san stopped the moment before touching the correct card, I thought he fell for it. He fell for it quite handily. Huh? Hey, wait. All of them knew from the start and still got so excited so earnestly? Everyone got excited to make it more fun. You're all demons. Interesting. Now then, Kei-chan, it's time for your penalty. Since this is your first day participating, I'll go easy, okay? It would be a problem if you refused to come to school. The other 3 members held down my arms and shoulders firmly. Mion approached, licking her lips. Oh, okay. Pulled out her something, a felt tip marker, and it's huge and oil-based. Okay, here we go. She took the cap off the marker and brought it slowly up to my face while I was immobilized. No! I let out my death throes. I guess my face is getting drawn on, which is fine, because I lost the card game, and that's alright. That is alright. Alright, I don't know if I should continue or not, because I know we're in for another... at least another 20 minutes. But we'll keep going. This will be a longer one, I guess. As soon as the club activities were finished, Raina flew off. Probably so she could dig out that cute Colonel Sanders that she wasn't able to take home yesterday. So today it was just Mion and me walking home together. Rather rare occurrence. Mountain of treasure, huh? The guys throwing it away probably never in their wildest dreams thought that Raina would be grateful to them. Mountain of treasure, meaning that damn construction site from before. Oh right, Mion would probably tell me. That murder by dismemberment that seemed to have happened here, or there. Over there, you know at that damn construction site? Did something happen there long ago? Something sure did. A grand battle. There were sit-ins and demonstrations. It was a bit different from what I wanted to hear, but I decided to listen just the same. It was our land that was going to be sunk into the damn reservoir. I would have fought as well, probably. The government guys were really adamant about it, acting all big and full of themselves. Since they figured out that they couldn't settle it with money, they did a bunch of nasty stuff. They were nasty guys. Mion spoke excitedly as if the whole thing was happening right in front of her. I'm amazed you guys won. You were facing the federal government, right? Mayor and prominent figures in the village all signed petitions. They went to Tokyo and struck a deal with legislators. And as a result, the development plan was retracted. It was our complete victory. Ha 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 ha. There wasn't any violence, was there? Like assaults or murders? None. She promptly cut me off. Same as Raina had. How many people are in our group? There's Satoko, Raina, Rika, and Mion. We're 5 people. Tomitake-san said, her words sitting on the end of that said, one arm wasn't found in the incident. I thought that a murder by dismemberment had occurred, but I guess I was wrong? My curiosity unsated, I sighed dejectedly inside. Later. See you tomorrow. Hey-chan, you can't wash that off until you get home, got it? Got it, I won't. Mion held back her laughter while stealing glances at my face. Wonder what kind of nasty droodles they drew. Damn you, Mion, you shall rue this day. If our roles are ever reversed, I'm going to slop it on. All over your face so you won't be able to take it off. Even with a scouring pad. Upon arriving home, I ran straight to my room, embarrassed myself yet again. The mood I'd come home to was already on edge. It's not an uncommon thing in our family. Whenever Dad can't come up with a good idea, it always ends up like that. He stomps around the house with his arms crossed. Mom whispered into my ear, "Welcome home, Keiichi. Dad, he's in a bit of a rut right now, so don't bother him, okay? He can't come up with a new idea. It's because the deadlines are so close together this time. Your dad needs time to recharge or he doesn't work well." Stop it. Dad's paintings feed our entire family. If he runs out of ideas, then it's the end of the Maybaras. We've never gone hungry before. Could it be that my dad is a master painter? Wouldn't it be easier to get an idea by taking a walk outside rather than wandering around the house? The theme of the piece this time is in the household. So it seems your dad wants to use this house as a motif. Quite a bothersome motif. Keiichi, pick up your room. It looks terrible. Sorry, I'll clean it up later. Come on, please don't use my room as the motif. Keiichi, there's still time before dinner. So go take a walk out back or something. His bad mood is only temporary. As soon as he gets an idea, his mood improves and he starts humming. Until then, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go take a walk so I don't aggravate him even further. Well, I guess I will then. We're going outside, I guess. I said I was going to take a walk, but I didn't have any particular destination in mind. I just needed to kill some time. I got on my bike and pondered where to go. I could just go read at the bookstore, but it would take an hour to get by bike to get to town. It would be dark by the time I get back, so I didn't want to go unless I had to. The roads at night here in Hinamizawa creep me out. If Mion or Satoko ever found out about that. I smiled wryly. Oh yeah, Reina was probably still at the Mountain of Treasure, the damn construction site. The excavation of Colonel Sanders was probably taking her a while. So it wouldn't be so bad to have her owe me one. Now I'm real curious to see what's gonna happen. Like, this is what I was kind of expecting to happen. She might return the favor next time we have club activities. With a little bit of self-interest in mind, I set off towards the damn construction site. I'm so interested. Let's go there, yeah. Tomitaki-san might be there as well. The only person with information about the incident that both Reina and Mion denied knowing anything about. If I met him again, I'd like to ask him for more details. To ask, was there really a dismemberment here in Hinamizawa? That was my real intention. I'm about to find the fuck out. Here we go. Let's go. I have a feeling. Unless there's actually a Colonel Sanders there. I spotted Reina struggling up on the slope of the garbage pile. It looked like Colonel Sanders was lodged in there pretty firmly. It didn't look like Reina was able to excavate him by herself. Realizing that Tomitaki-san wasn't around, I began climbing up the slope unsteadily. Hey Reina, looks like you're working up a sweat. Whoa, Keiichi-kun. What brings you to a place like this? A place like this, huh? Let's see, she was aware of it at least. I received a signal for emergency assistance at the accident site. Where is the injured party? Huh? Accident? Huh? There was a report that Colonel Sanders was buried alive in the trash pile. Oh, that. You scared me. Don't frighten me like that, Keiichi-kun. I was just kidding. I thought you might be struggling by yourself, so I came to help you out. You came? For me? Oh. Well, I filled my quota for today. If I don't see Reina blush at least once a day, then I'm not getting my daily required nutritional intake. Just kidding, you're embarrassing me now. So, huh? What part was the joke? What part was it? I just ignored her bewilderment. Okay, now move out of the way. Where's Colonel Sanders? Sorry. Can't you see him in that gap? He's really buried in there. The Colonel Sanders was sideways, surrounded by boards and the other construction materials like they were caging him inside. According to Reina, it wasn't like this yesterday. It seems as though another illegal dumper came yesterday, dumped again, and now he's buried like this. So you're trying to move this pile all by yourself? With those scrawny arms? There's no way she'd be able to do that with her slender arms. Colonel Sanders, so cute. This one though, I should be able to take this one home. If Raina gave up on this Colonel Sanders, she'd probably start devising a plan to steal one in front of the store. As Raina's guardian, I will not allow her to sully her hands with crime. Out of the way, I'll do it. Raina blushed again, but this time I left it alone. The pile was enormous. Also, the more days we wasted, the more likely another illegal dumping would occur. If we got buried any deeper, there would be nothing that could be done. Keiichi-kun, I'll help too. Let me help. You just get in the way, so stay back. Pulling out scraps, bending them, tossing them aside, I quickly became covered in sweat and dust. Flying objects drew beautiful arcs across the twilight sky, one after another. Lumber, timber, plywood. Damn it. No matter how much I threw out, there was still more. Even though I could see Colonel Sanders right there. After grandstanding like that in front of Raina, I felt frantic because of how little I've progressed. If I was going to do this seriously, I'd need an axe saw or something. That's enough, Keiichi-kun. You're so sweaty. You don't have to try so hard. I'm just doing it for you, Raina. Don't worry about it. Raina began sputtering and turning beet red. Oops, I meant to say I was trying my best so as to keep her from becoming a criminal. Oh well. Oh well indeed. I guess I just need a break. This is pretty tough. I sprawled on my back over the grassy slope. I'm so sorry. You're covered in sweat. Raina patted her handkerchief against my forehead. Felt pretty nice. Well, wait here a minute, okay? My house is pretty close. I'll bring you some barley tea, okay? Leaving the handkerchief on my forehead, Raina took off running. She's gone now. The cries of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. After I was certain that Raina was gone, I picked myself up and headed towards what I had discovered earlier. The garbage pile of magazines and newspapers bound up in twine. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe it was around here. There it was. There were bound stacks of not so reputable tabloids. They were stacked chronologically going back quite a few years. It's quite a disturbing incident. It seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms, you see. If it was just as Tomitake-san said, then there would undoubtedly be mention of the murder. These are troubled times. There's no end to these sickening incidents. There's a large part of society drawn in these incidents as well, but had to be recorded. Somewhere. I unfastened the packages and opened the rain-soaked pages carefully, looking over the table of contents. Not here. Next one. Not here. Next one. It was hard to search since I didn't know when it happened. Wasn't it like it was 1970 something? 1979? I didn't know who the perpetrator or victim was. I only knew that it had happened here. I guess there's like monthly issues. I looked up every so often, checking to see if Raina had come back or not. I wouldn't want her to see me gawking at dirty magazine, but it wasn't just that. Both Raina and Mion said they didn't know. But it happened, without a doubt. As long as Tomitake-san wasn't lying. Then if both Raina and Mion... Ah yeah, there was. If they had just said that, then I wouldn't have gotten so hung up on it. An incident that neither Raina nor Mion wished to talk about. Trying to uncover it after they tried to conceal it out of good intentions made me feel like I was acting against my friends. Hinamizawa dam worker lynching, murder by dismemberment. Here it is. The feature article was in the back, and it seemed that there was a photograph in the colored pages at the front. Pages were feature of the feature article were stuck together and they weren't easy to open, and it could return at any moment. Feeling rushed, I gave up and opened the photograph page. The police investigators were carrying a body bag, and the newspaper reporters were all bathing it in camera flashes. The image was blurry and hard to understand, but I could definitely make out the headlines. A tragic nightmare at the Hinamizawa construction site. Lynching and murder slash dismemberment. The victim was the site foreman. He had assaulted his assailants daily with explosive backlash from his daily actions. It's a horrible image to see the site foreman is happened. It really did happen. It seems that it seemed the details were on the next page. I turned the page without pausing. On it was the assailants with water victims and matches. Then, whoa, hold on. Hatches and pickaxes, then use the axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces: the head, arms, legs, and torso. I could understand just from the headline that it was just too terrible. Incident. Normally, a lynching is just assault and murder, right? Dismemberment with hatches and pickaxes? That wasn't a lynching. It was a merciless killing to the letter. A brutal murder. Done by a group of people. With hatchets. With pickaxes. With an axe. Eek, sorry. Did I startle you? Did I startle you? Reina dropped the axe she was holding on to. What? Holding on to the grass before being startled by my voice. Or after being startled by my voice. She dropped the axe onto the grass. What? Why? Eiichi-kun, you see earlier, yeah, you said it would help if you had an axe, didn't you? So then I brought an axe from the shed. Reina fluttered her arms in a panic, continuing to explain and apologize. It seemed to have been... So the game wants me to believe that Reina is the one that's doing this? It seemed to have been glaring at her pretty intensely. I'm sorry, I guess my reaction was a bit overboard. No, I'm sorry as well. I'm sorry. Night was drawing close. I was pretty worn out, and it wouldn't hurt to do the rest tomorrow. It doesn't look like we can break that last beam without an axe. You brought it after all. I'll have to borrow it tomorrow, alright? Okay. Why do you look so glum? Tomorrow we'll be digging out Colonel Sanders, right? You're right. I really want to take Colonel Sanders home soon. We both know that it was useless to apologize any more than that. I quenched my thirst and brought the barley tea Reina brought and wiped off the sweat that had now gone cold. We took the path to head home. I felt quite guilty about the tabloid wrapped up in my jacket. Interesting. So I noticed, like with a lot of visual novels that I've played in the past, you have to know what the game wants you to think. This game is very much like, you've received new tips. This game is very much pushing the idea that Reina's pretty terrible. Because we discovered the tabloid with the axe, and it's a group of people, and so your mind is going, it's like, all right, who has axes in this town? We have to go look. Let's tell everybody. And then Reina comes up behind you with an axe, and then instantly in your head you're going, okay, it's the group. Is it the group? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Because they don't seem like they're evil, and I think that's probably what they're going for, you know? We're going to go ahead and save it again. I should probably save in different slots starting about now. I feel like if I have to make a decision... Well, I haven't had to make any decisions yet, so I could probably just skip past everything. Anyway, I gotta go. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I know it's a little bit longer. I hope to see you guys in the next episode of this. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I plan on playing all the way through this, so let's hope that's what we do. Peace out, you guys.